right, you guys, we are going to talk about agents of transportation of sediments. And if you remember from the PowerPoint lecture, we have basically four agents of transportation. Wind, doesn't matter what order you put them in, water, ice, and gravity. Okay. Now, wind, you all know this. I mean, you've never been, and we're not talking about hurricane wind, we're talking about sustained winds. If there's a strong windstorm, you never have a big boulder flying through the air. Instead, what we have is fine grain or a small size class. And remember, we're just using small to medium to large. You are not going to have to learn a whole bunch of sizes and numbers and things like that. It's all relative, but if you understand the relative sizes, you're fine. And small would be silt and clay. That's really all that wind carries. You might say, well, what about sand? It typically doesn't carry sand very far. And if you think about a sand dune, you think it's a pile of sand. The wind has actually cleaned it of the silt and clay and removed the silt and clay and left behind the sand. Now, that is called sort. And sort is uniformity of size class. And if you think about a sand dune, the wind has done a really good job of taking all the small stuff out, leaving just the sand grains behind. And that's called sort. So wind is actually an excellent sorter, okay, of small stuff only. All right, water. Now think about your favorite creek and then think about your favorite creek and flood. Water has the capability of, depending on its velocity, carrying all size classes. So small through large or all size classes potentially. Okay, now water is also an excellent sorter. I like round rocks, and so if I'm out looking for round rocks and I want a certain size class, I would look at a certain energy part of the stream. Okay, so water is probably one of the best sorters, and it sorts all size classes. Okay, down at the mouth of the stream, you're going to find silt and clay. Up at the headwaters of the stream, you'll find great big boulders because, again, it's kind of an energy profile. High energy, big stuff, low energy, little stuff. All right, now ice. You might say, well, what are you talking about ice? Okay, glaciers. And only about 15,000 years ago, we had glacial activity just up the road, up Highway 80. And ice can also sort all size classes. Okay, actually it doesn't sort. I'm sorry. It can transport all size classes, but it does no sorting. Okay, what does that mean? If you find a sediment pile left behind after a glacier melts, what you're going to see is everything silt, clay, sand is medium, and larger cobbles, boulders, etc. Gravel plus. Okay, and they're all going to be in the same pile together. That would never happen with stream or with wind, because wind sorts, and ice absolutely does not sort. All right, gravity. Gravity, you might say, well, what's that? Okay, rock falls. Think about Yosemite. Yosemite typically has rock falls, and if you go right after a rock fall and check out the pile, it's totally unsorted. No sort, and what you'll find in there is everything from silt and clay to boulders, so potentially all size classes. Now, just a heads up here, that gravity usually doesn't stop there really. Wind, like let's say we had that big rockfall in Yosemite. The wind will later on pick up the sand and silt and carry it off, and then a rain event will pick up the sand-sized stuff and carry it off, and you'll be left with some of the bigger stuff sitting around probably. So if it's sorted, it's afterwards by other agents, but if something just falls down, a gravity fall, it's not sorted, and you're going to have potentially all size classes in there.